Hello, I'm Angelina, and welcome back to another episode of our interviews. As always, feel free to open up the transcript or the description to better follow along and learn more about our guest speakers. Hi, hello. Thank you so much for coming to this call today and talking with me. If you don't mind, could you briefly introduce yourself and sort of explain how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, sure thing. Hi, everyone. My name is Mihika Dusad. I'm an incoming freshman at MIT. I guess a little bit about my journey. So, lived in Virginia my whole life, and when I was in elementary school, I really gravitated towards math. And there weren't a lot of competition math opportunities at the time, but one thing that I really liked was Continental Math League, CML, and also Math Olympiad in elementary school. So I found that I really enjoyed problem solving in particular. So in middle school, I continued with my math journey, kept doing math counts and taking whatever math courses I could. But I realized that opportunities in school were limited. And that's when I started studying math in a greater level of detail outside of school. I started looking into just concepts in general and learning what I could. And I found that I really, really enjoyed it. So going into high school, I continued math. I joined my high school's math team and I got involved with, leadership. I got involved on the team and the team became, kind of like my second family. We became really, really close through all the travel competitions that we did, all the opportunities, and I really had an amazing time doing math throughout high school. And I also was able to take more advanced courses in high school that actually really challenged me, and that was awesome. So, apart from math, some of my other hobbies and endeavors have included, uh, of course, CS. I think people who like math tend to like CS just because that same aspect of problem solving is involved in both. Also, doing research, actually applying my math and CS knowledge to direct applications. And then in my free time, I also like to go for runs, play the violin, and do debate. So, yeah, that's a little bit about who I am.
I think you mentioned that you really liked problem solving. Were there any specific problems you particularly enjoyed solving?
Any particular problems that I liked? I think there was one problem I remember I really enjoyed. It was an Amy problem from my senior year. It was this problem about like two intersecting circles, and you had to do it was a pretty simple problem, just like applying Pythagorean theorem to calculate some radii. But I remember that in the competition, my brain had kind of just shut off. And so I drew the diagram to scale and I used my ruler and I somehow got the right answer. And then later on in the competition, I actually figured out how to solve the problem. And then I checked it and I got the same answer. And I was really surprised that I had gotten so lucky the first time with my simple ruler drawing. But that was a really funny problem. I still remember it. I think it was like problem 6 or problem 7.
And then sort of on the same note, are there any math classes that you particularly enjoy taking or CS classes?
Sure. So in my senior year of high school, I took a course at TJ called Advanced Math Techniques, or AMT, which is a semester-long class that only my school offers, I think. And it was basically a combination of differential equations, complex analysis, and number theory. So just a lot of higher level math. And I had a really, really great teacher, and he made the class just an amazing experience for everyone, I think. There was one point where he was explaining applications to physics of some of the math that we were learning. And so we all went out into the hallway and played with some of the slinkies that he had to demonstrate.
That sounds really fun. This is sort of like a long or a very vague question, but do you sort of have an idea like what you would like to do like post college with like your math knowledge and CS knowledge?
Sure. So I think that I'm probably going to major in math and computer science with a minor in econ going into college. And what I seek to do after really depends on how I enjoy different subjects. But I think right now I'm interested in software engineering or quantitative research and trading with startups in the long run.
If you don't mind me asking, what was the inspiration behind the econ minor?
Right. I think this is an interesting question to ask because a lot of people mainly go with math CS, so why econ? I discovered that I really liked econ in my sophomore year of high school because there was a club at my school, econ club, and I got involved and I started studying for this competition called the National Economics Challenge, and I just found it so much fun. It was unlike math and CS. I think what drew me to econ was my experience in debate, because in debate, I was studying current events, reading the news, and just learning about things from a financial perspective and actually studying economics and realizing kind of the interplay between the markets and how everything fits together. I think that was something that I found really fascinating. And so that's part of why I want to study econ in more detail.
And then I was just wondering, has your like background in debate and economics like changed your approach or changed your perspective regarding math and CS?
That's a good question. So has my approach to math and CS been shifted by econ and debate? I think possibly. The way I approach math and CS is, I think, different from the way I approach econ and debate because I think that math and CS channels my problem solving abilities, whereas econ and debate allows for a little bit more creativity and subjectivity as well. I think that math and CS, I tend to see it as being a little bit more objective, but econ also has aspects of problem solving. So I think that's interesting to consider. Like you can think about econ problems as mathematical problems and apply the same type of techniques that you would apply to math problems to econ.
And then finally, do you have any recommendations, pieces of advice, or suggestions for any young students, or particularly like younger women who are interested in pursuing something similar to your areas of interest?
Yeah, definitely. I think that sometimes the gender barrier in STEM fields, especially math and computer science, can be a little daunting, but I encourage any young girls that are pursuing, these types of fields to stay motivated because it can be really rewarding, I think, to stay with those fields, especially in my case where I, liked math in elementary school and kind of just stuck with it all throughout high school. I think when you get to the higher levels of those fields, your learning really just broadens a lot. And if that's what you're interested in, then don't let anyone talk you out of it. Definitely pursue whatever opportunities you have available, whether it's through clubs in school, outside programs, outside learning, or just, reaching out to other people who might be better able to help you. That would be my advice.
Okay, thank you so much for coming and sharing your amazing experiences with us.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure to talk to you.